Good morning. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Tomboy Official. We're here Thursday, November 17th. So Thursdays, I have a weigh-in day. In the morning, first thing, which I already just did. And Wednesday nights are a self-care night. Not that I don't practice self-care on a regular basis, but Wednesdays are a self-care night. So I mentioned before that Tuesday night was not the best of sleep, not the best of rest. That day was just not, too smoothly executed. My energy was all over the place Tuesday night, but come Wednesday, I was able to get through Wednesday okay. Now the trick on Wednesday was trying not to have too much caffeine, because that would have definitely impacted my sleep for Wednesday night. And so I did have caffeine, but it wasn't a whole lot. I had less than a half of a bottle of yerba mate. I had some coffee, but I don't know how much. It wasn't a full cup of coffee, and it was brewed pretty mild, a weekly brewed coffee, so it wasn't that strong. And I had probably about 50 milligrams of C4 when I thought I was gonna work out, but I kind of combined all my midday breaks during work, and I ended up just redoing a podcast recording about those like spiritual topics that I was discussing before, that I said I had spent maybe 3 hours. 2 of those hours I redid in a little less than 1 hour yesterday during my breaks instead of working out. And then Wednesdays, it's legal where I live and I'm of age, and so Wednesdays, those are the nights when if I'm gonna have an edible with THC, that's usually the night that I would do it. Now, I kind of debated on it, and I wasn't gonna do it last night. I told myself, I didn't like tell myself, I wasn't like, don't do it. But I was like, nah, like I'm not gonna do it, because it was getting late. It was like close to 7:30, 8 p.m. But I was like, that's the ideal time, because it'll kick in near when I need to go to sleep at the strongest, around 10. And so I won't probably get the munchies and then want to eat because I'll be too tired. Because usually when I do have an edible, I'll have one earlier in the evening after work, like around maybe 4:30, 5 p.m. or so. And so what happens is, because I eat dinner ridiculously early, once it kicks in around 7:30, usually, or 7:30 like at the latest, but usually around 7:30 I'll find myself like incredibly hungry and want to eat again. And it's one thing if I'm having an edible once a weekday, once during the weekdays. Weekends are different, but once during the weekdays, I keep it near 5 milligrams max. And, it's a little different. Usually I would usually have one earlier, because I tell myself, I want it to wear off, but I mean, that 2 hours does make a difference as far as like decision making for like, nutrition and food choices, because I had eaten my dinner early around 4:30 p.m., maybe 5 p.m., and I had a little Oreo cup snack around 7:30 or 8, right before I had this edible. And so I you know I was fine with that decision. Like, it did kick in. I did have a lot of CBD in my system as well, probably, I don't know how much, less than 25 milligrams, but quite a bit. More than 12, less than 25. So, and that was fine. And then the edible was it's called Wyld, WYLD brand. It's got CBN and THC indica. And so that was fine. And as far as my workouts, I skipped Wednesday, skipped Tuesday. Today's Thursday, so I'm really gonna need to be on it. I did have a dream last night. I don't think it was really a queer dream, but I don't know where I was in this dream. It's kind of like almost a recurring dream. Not all of it, but the section I remember was me being at a hotel and looking at outside. I think I was there with my mom or something, and looking outside, and there was a bunch of snow on the you know how when you're in a parking lot and there's kind of this like embankment around the parking lot, kind of, like, if that makes sense, like around the property. So it was kind of like that, like there was an embankment kind of around the perimeter of the property at a lot of places, and there was some snow that had fallen. And of course, in the dream, I can't find my hotel room. It was room, I don't know if it was like 203 or something like that, and I found the arrow that said 201 to 260 or 270 something, and I saw 201, and I saw 211, and I saw like 270 or 260 something, and I was like, I can't find my room. And there was like a little gift shop, and I kept walking through that, and I was like, I don't remember how to get back to my room. So I never got to do the little snowboarding part. And I mean, it wasn't a snowbird resort. I was at a hotel, and before that, I think I was like thinking about laundry. I don't know, something was going on in that dream. I don't really remember, but I mean, I think I've mentioned before, that when I don't have a lot of THC in my system, especially from like edibles and stuff, I don't really dream as much. So, my queer dream series has definitely come to a slowdown because of that, unfortunately. But, I can't be having edibles every single day. It kind of like once during the week is fine for me. And I've chosen Wednesdays as that night. Just because it's kind of a good reset kind of night. Like, when I noticed, like how I said, like everything was kind of getting a little out of whack by like Tuesday. So, by Wednesday I was kind of able to kind of remedy that. My lights were out like 9:45 p.m. I was starting to fall asleep probably a little earlier than that. I was getting really tired. I was probably asleep by like 10:30, maybe 11 at the latest. I don't even know, but I woke up early. I'm pretty sure I woke up around 5. Didn't get up yet. Woke up again. It was cloudy, but the sun wasn't quite risen yet. And when I actually woke up, when I was like actually gonna get up, it was probably like 6:45. 6:49 I think is when I looked at my clock, and AM, and I felt fine. I was like, I could just get up now, like I'm good. I don't really feel like I needed the caffeine, but I did it anyways just because it's part of my routine in the morning, and did my weigh-in. compared to about a little more than a month ago. It's probably like a 5-pound difference, but really it's probably like a 2-pound difference considering all the dates past that, which is fine. And I mean, I don't really take my weight to too much of an extreme, as far as like deciding if I'm in shape or whatever. I've been tracking my weight just to make sure I'm not like significantly gaining weight. Like before, like I think when I started doing my weekly weight, during May of 2022, during summer, like early summer, that's when I noticed I was super out of shape, because snowboard season had just ended in April of 2022, and then in May I was like, why am I so out of shape? I'm like I was so out of shape all snowboard season, all last winter I was just out of shape, and so this is the season where I'm like, I need to be in shape. And once, summer hit, I was like, I really started, trying to get in shape. But there were a lot of injuries. I had a lot of injuries last snowboard season, quite a few injuries during the summer. There was a bit of a challenge with all that. And so, because I've never been in this poor of shape before, I don't really know how to deal with these injuries. This is like a new era for me with all these like weird, mostly shoulder and back injuries. I guess it's like rhomboid like injuries, like kind of below my shoulder blade areas, and then on occasion my back. But I've noticed both of those areas near my shoulder blades, or like my shoulder, have gotten like severe tension and pain. But I have noticed, I have this back massager, and I also have, our shower gets really, really hot. The one that I use gets really, really hot. I haven't used my parents' shower in years, but I know this shower gets really hot. Even the water, when it's cold, unless you're like first turning it on, the cold isn't like fully cold. Like once it heats up, the cold is like actually kind of like a lukewarm. So yeah, it gets kind of cold, but not like you can still be in the coldest water in there, and it's not like too bad. And that, comparing that to the house that I was in San Diego, where maybe because there were so many of us, or like the water heater or whatever, like, that water was not usually hot water. It was kind of like a not too pleasant of a temperature water. It wasn't cold, but it wasn't like hot. Like this one is hot. Like it gets really hot. Like I can't turn it all the way hot. But I can turn it hot enough that I've noticed it definitely loosens up my muscles a lot. So that's something I've been learning about, is just like basic stuff like those back massagers, and like just heat from the shower. A lot of times when I have muscle tension, that alone, has been able to help a lot. But I don't really know why I keep getting the same injuries. Maybe it's because of my desk. That's very possible. Maybe it's because of the bed where I'm sleeping on. Maybe it's because of my posture. I really don't know. But it is something, like even today I woke up and I noticed my left, kind of near my shoulder blade, is a little tense. But I do notice too, when I work out more often, it's not such a common problem. So maybe it's because I skipped 2 workouts, 2 days of working out, that now the tension's back. That's very likely, it's like probably a lot of things contributing. And so there's that. And but yeah, last night, I kept it really chill last night. I was listening to Heinz. So Heinz on YouTube. Let's see what it was like watching / listening to. So Heinz, HINDZ, late night stream, with the little stars around, wifey reveal. It's like it's more than 3.5 hours long. They're just chilling in one of the rooms of their house, just having a conversation, answering questions on a live stream. Now, he's got a few other live streams. Of course, things that I like, I always wish that there were more, but I'm probably going to go through the other ones. They seem shorter. This one was longer. The other ones were about like 1 hour, maybe 2 hours, but like maybe like 1 hour or so. And maybe a little more than an hour, and but they're saved in the lives on his YouTube channel. But he usually does these episodes that are like a tea time, morning tea time, and it's pretty positive, motivational. He's pretty chill. And I was just laying there listening to that, watching it, kind of listening, watching, working on my breathing, just kind of thinking about things, and just kind of like breathing, just definitely mostly I was just kind of focusing on my breathing for like a while, probably a couple hours off and on. I was just like, okay, like how's my breath, how's my breathing rate, and that kind of helped, like it, I woke up this morning, like I said, I feel refreshed, I feel fine. I should be able to work out today. My schedule shouldn't be too intensive. I never can really predict, but it shouldn't be too bad. I'm kind of on point with a lot of stuff, so my alarm's about to go off at 7:50 a.m. already, and I'm about to start logging in. I gotta get dressed, log into the computer for work, and get on with my day. But things are going good today. Happy Friday Eve, everybody who's listening to this, and thanks for listening.